You're showering in it. Your skin is absorbing it, right? If you don't have a good whole house system that removes metals and chemicals, which, let's face it, probably 90% of the United States can't afford, So this is a constant poisoning. Plus, you have all of these different types of contaminants that we get exposed to, right? Through the rain and the snow and the fog, and the food and the water.
Hello and welcome to the Leila Show. We are here with Maria again for part 3 of really just digging into parasites, cleaning your blood, nanobots, just all sorts of crazy things. So Maria, let's start this off with a little recap just in case there are some people that received part 3 and haven't had a chance to listen to part 1 and part 2. And then we're just going to dive deeper into part 3. And then we're going to talk about solutions, some amazing solutions that you have, as well as the solutions that I have. So that way people are not losing sleep thinking that there isn't something that they can do about this.
Yeah, no problem. So last time, we talked about all kinds of different microscopy that I've been doing and some of the scanning electron microscopy and that analysis. And I took a look at, say, the North Carolina floodwaters. I've had samples sent to me from all over, and whether it be synthetic looking life forms or strange clots or the fog, the Florida fog, that was one of them. I've analyzed all types of body fluids, blood, sweat, urine, stool. Last time we went over a lot about the hybrid parasites, some of that, findings in the blood, findings in the stool. And what I really, really wanted to dive into was, of course, cleaning the liver and how important that is. And taking a look at, whenever I'm looking at something, I think, okay, what they're spraying above is all relative to all of this, because they're trying to usher in the fourth industrial revolution, right? The bio-internet of things and human beings as antennas. And there's obviously a reason they've gone to such great lengths and expense to continue to spray us. It's not enough to poison us, right? It's in our food, which, what I said before is we are so much worse off in the United States than, say, they are in the EU regarding I don't know regarding the chemtrails, but certainly in our food. And we know this, right, from the new Make America Healthy Again movement. And who knows what's going to come of that? I mean, we don't have a lot of time. It doesn't seem like our congressional leaders move very quickly. And, we really need the people to rise up. But when I'm taking a look at right down at the cellular level and I'm looking at the different contaminants and what they're made of, thankfully, I do have access to an electron microscope, so I can see things like these. This is just an image, right? It's not real, but it is a good visual about what we see in the blood and the different nanoparticles and how they are causing networking, new network constructs, as if they're building new neural networks inside of the human body. And that's all real. And what I have found is that by and large, these particles are encapsulated with silicone. Silicone's really, really difficult to get rid of, silicone. And I looked at what was in the Florida fog. I looked at what was in the pure Wyoming snow. That's not pure. Right? You see a beautiful image of the mountains and all this beautiful snow, and you think, oh my goodness, this is wonderful. I live right at the base of a mountain, and it's not actually real. And we all know it. It's not the snow that we grew up with. Right? And the fog that I analyzed from Florida is not the fog that you grew up with. It's not the same because it's poison and it makes people sick. And you know that from your own rain analysis, right?
So let's do that. Can you put up on the screen really fast just to recap exactly what you saw in the rain, just the ingredients?
in the snow.
for people who didn't have a chance to see part one and part two. And if you do, I highly suggest you go and see it. But look at this,
So this is some of the Florida fog: yttrium, tellurium, platinum. And platinum was always present, of course, bromine, of course, silicon, some tin that was present, thallium, platinum again. These are all the Florida fog samples. So then I took a look at the snow. When I see this was obviously polymer. It's not real. This isn't, some of these things shouldn't be here. So then I put them under the electron microscope, and I've got zirconium, which is made, helps to make biosensors and chips, silicone, yttrium, bromine again. Magnesium is usually always present. And what's really unfortunate about this is that we need magnesium, but they use magnesium to dope the lanthanide crystals. And what I mean by dope is to coat them so that they have higher bioluminescence, higher conductivity. So they use our own, minerals and elements against us. This one in the snow, this had, bromine and of course silicon, platinum again. This one, bromine, silicon, magnesium, of course, is always present, which is a little funny, but same things, right? These are the usual suspects. And then in this one, of course, aluminum, more silicone and tellurium. These things are there for a reason. And then what I did was I analyzed blood and did a Buffy coat analysis. And I showed this beautiful video. I'll speed it up so that we can get to where, there we go. Here are some of the microparticles in synthetic biology. Those are labeled as either carbon or graphene dots that are used. And then these are superconductive fibers, so these build these different highways. The nanoparticles will draw fibrin or fibrinogen out of the cell. This is very sick blood. You can tell there's obviously a lot of metals present. It's all clumped together. Blood looks much worse now than it did even a year ago, honestly.
I had a lot of those, actually.
And then what I did was I did a Buffy coat so I could see exactly what the white blood cells were carrying and what they were trying to get rid of. And I found one of the superconductive fibers with one of the dots, was able to analyze, and it is encapsulated with silicon, has platinum, strontium, all kinds of metals in it, right? And then chlorine we expect to find, because chlorine is how white blood cells attack predators. And then again, platinum and silicon on different areas, right? There's just different types of metals on these fibers. And I think through a process like adsorption is how the fibers are made to be conductive. So again, this is just hypotheses because it's not my technology.
And just to give a little recap as well, you've got like a very high powered system, a $55,000 system that it's not like my $6,000, microscopy. This is a serious system where you're able to dive in deep, which I love, because you're doing real science. This is real data. This is real research. It's not just pulling something out of nowhere. You are dissecting and understanding exactly what's going in.
Right. And the thing is this one was all electron microscopy. So these images that I'm showing you, these are scanning electron microscope images. And this is an elemental analysis that it will give and show me different peaks, right? And the other one that I have is all decked out. The way I have it decked out is about 55,000. This one, where I can do the elemental analysis, this one is in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So Dr. Group thought that it was going to be critical that we have this type of equipment so that we could start to document the transhuman agenda, and the transhuman, I guess I want to say, conversion, because we knew that they were going to be doing something to our biology.
Just to also recap again, just tell our viewers what you studied, for over 25 years, just a quick recap of what you studied in school, and then after 2019 how it was a totally different world for you. But this is what you studied. It's not like somebody who doesn't understand parasites. Like, this is your world. Just
This
give
is
us a
my world.
2 minute recap of that.
Can you imagine? I never ever thought in this entire universe that I would be thrown into a position where I really had to know organic parasites again, because they're pretty easy. They're not benign by any means, but at the same time, because you can pass equilibrium where these things take control of the host, to a point to where you start damaging yourself because they go into feeding frenzies. They send off chemicals. I want this, I want that, and then the body becomes overwhelmed, especially with all the chemicals in the food, in the air, and the water, right? And your liver gets overwhelmed, your immune system gets overwhelmed. And so these things are no longer benign. But here, since 2019, what I have been seeing are synthetic parasites. And I mean, some of them are hybridized. They're not organic. They're nothing that I ever studied in school. I taught college microbiology. I never thought that anything like this would be possible, ever.
You've been doing this for 25 years now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And looking at blood. So I spent time in the hospitals, in the laboratory, in the pathology lab. I was right hand to pathologist for a couple of years, opened up my own path lab, red blood for specifically dialysis patients, for internists, where they would send things directly to me because I had good microscopy skills. And I could look at a wet smear. I could look at a fresh blood. I could look at a dried smear of dead blood and say, maybe this is a hairy cell leukemia, something like that. But I was the first eyes, and then it would move to pathology for confirmation type of thing. So that I've been looking at. Some tissue here and there, although not an MD, not a pathologist. Cell cultures, right? Microbiology and things like that. So I had the luxury of having a good education where I had to verbally test out of different departments. I've made blood products. I mean, I know blood. Right?
Well.
So all types of blood products, whatever you would use in surgery, right? Fresh frozen plasmas and things like that. I know the upkeep. I know FDA regulatory standards, have passed many inspections. So this stuff I know, right, at the cellular level, and what a red blood cell should look like, and what they look like now is not what they looked like even 5-6 years ago.
Let's show our audience, in addition to this, everything that you found, the little test that I did. If you can pull up
Sure.
the additional ingredients of this.
Let's see.
This rainwater that there are a lot of people that drink rainwater too.
Let's see.
I mean, I think that's a little crazy. I mean,
Brain analysis.
rainwater is not clean. So if anybody is out there drinking it, I would advise to not.
Our poor animals.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So this is the rainwater. And what I was overwhelmed with when you sent this to me were the mycotoxins. Could not believe the mycotoxins.
I was pretty surprised by all the parabens in it, and maybe you could share with us why you think that they're putting parabens in it. I know you had mentioned it to me, but I think it would be great for our viewers to hear that, because it just goes to show it's very calculated. Mm-hmm. Everything that they're doing is extremely calculated. No different than COVID and the mRNA shot. Everything is meticulously done for a reason. Nothing is an accident. Nothing is coincidence, and nothing is, well, it just happens, or we're trying to just do weather modification. No, it's for a reason.
Right. So here is your analysis for the rainwater.
Yeah, there it is. So
look
at this stuff.
your BPA in the rainwater. What is it doing in the rainwater?
And what's crazy is they're like, oh, be careful, BPA, because of plastics. Meanwhile, they're putting it in the air.
We're just gonna rain down on you with it. Butyl paraben, phthalates. I mean, here we are trying to make sure that we use clean products, and we look at ingredients, in our food, in our cosmetics, and things like that. But holy cow, does it even matter? Because this is your rainwater.
Yeah.
So what I found was anytime I see something that is so egregious like this, of course I go straight to hydrogels. And for a couple of years, I have been calling hydrogels enemy number one because they hemolyze red blood cells. They destroy red blood cells. Hemoglobin spills all over the slide. They're incredibly toxic. And what's crazy is that I talked to a doctor a few days ago, and he was really excited about hydrogels. And yes, I know there are different types of hydrogels, but because they're using them for cross-linking, for building mesh networks, right, for wound care and things like that. And so there's a whole synthetic biological system just based on hydrogels, and they're supposed to dissolve, right? They're supposed to be self-dissolving. That's that they don't do that. So if we have these inside of us now, all of these different hydrogels. So what's going to happen is if you have Western medicine help you using a hydrogel and to create some sort of a scaffold for a wound or something, or for drug delivery, or whatever it is they want to use it for, they're all made up of polymers, and these polymers add to the other polymers that are inside of your blood.
Wow.
And what I found was that paraben will actually help stabilize hydrogels.
Oh, so that makes sense while they're putting so many parabens.
Right.
I mean, this is a lot. There's
Right.
even more if you scroll down.
Mhm.
It just
So we come down here and look at your glyphosate that's there, of course. Methylparaben.
wow,
Yeah,
it's a lot.
it's a lot. And then when I come down to mycotoxins, blew my mind. I cannot believe, there's a reason why people are getting sick. So I'm going to tell you something. I don't have the video up, but I'm going to tell you something. I collaborate with different researchers around the world. So this is not just me. It's not just me. But I have been saying out loud, people can call me crazy if they want, but you don't know what I know. And I'm going to tell you what I know. The nanoparticles, they all have their own ID, their own serial numbers. They all have a different function, okay? And there are categories of these things inside of human beings right now, inside of animals. And how incredible are our bodies, to be able to fight this stuff off. But these nanoparticles can take and invade any biological life form. We're talking about fungus, yeast, E. coli, different types of bacteria. E. coli is one of their favorites because E. coli can then turn and keep self-replicating. That's what it does. And they get a beautiful yield from E. coli, is what it's called in chemistry. So they know exactly what they're doing. This has been well researched.
I've never even heard of a few of these mycotoxins. I mean,
Actually, me either. But fungal elements are wonderful. They're easy. They will just keep self-replicating. But I have videos of different, as of about 8 months ago, nanoparticles invading fungus. And when I leave it to bake it basically on the slide so that I can watch and see what they're going to create, they take over that life form and they start building long structures. And they're very, very active, and they're septated just the way a normal fungus would be. but you can see clearly that they have a polymer base. They're taking over, some of the bulbs and the different characteristics of the fungal life forms, and then creating their own.
Wow.
And now it's not just me seeing them. There's also reference where they used to fluoresce in one wavelength. Now, progressing to probably phase 4 of this agenda, they're actually fluorescing in a different wavelength. Wow. So there has actually been even a transition from the synthetic or synbio type of life forms. Jeez. And they're inside blood. And here's the other thing is people do think that, oh, it won't happen to me. I'm healthy. I'm healthy. It's happened to me. I see synthetic cells. I just sent you one. Yeah.
Well, what's interesting I'm not sure if I sent you this image, but after I ran my live blood, she waited 24 hours and a line with dots formed across the image. Yeah. And she said that that's part of the whole man-made agenda. I mean, it was like little dots across the screen.
Yeah. As the blood starts breaking down, or as the membranes start breaking down, here they come again. So, people ask me, and I'm sure they ask you too all the time, they say, okay, but Maria, how long do I have to do this? Do I need to do this indefinitely? How long do I have to detox? And my answer is always every single day of your life for the rest of your life.
Yeah, how long do you want to live?
For your body.
But it just goes to show, I mean, this is for people to understand that this is coming from your rain, which is in your water, which is in everything, just showers. They're not taking all of this stuff out when you go back to take a shower. And even if you have a perfect water system, these things still come through. But again, it's not to fear, because there's solutions. And what is it? A little extra work to take some supplements every day, to do things to take care of yourself in order to prevent the long-term damage that you can get from this if it builds and builds and builds and builds. So I think that's the important part of the show is don't go to bed tonight being in fear. Just like, you need to work out, just like you need to eat healthy. It's just add it to one of the things that you need to do to live a long, healthy life is to take the right supplements and detox to get this stuff out of your body. Otherwise, you'll have a tipping point where all of a sudden it's just boom, your body completely taps out, and then you're full on sick, like I was in 2020, where I just thought I was going to die. And so 2023, when I was running the labs and when we met, there was a lot of work I needed to do because I was so far behind. Don't get to that point where you fall to the floor like I did and feel like you're going to die. Or unfortunately, people are getting all sorts of different diseases and cancer. Like, let's take care of it ahead of time so you don't have to get there and you can live a longer, healthier life. And more importantly, the last few years of your life don't have to be years of misery. My husband's uncle died at 100, died peacefully. His cousin died a really, really miserable had a miserable ending because she was on 20 different pharmaceuticals, and each one was harming her in a different way, and then she had to keep taking on more, and her legs were completely swollen. She couldn't walk. I mean, that's what happens when you don't take care of yourself and you're not proactive. Then you don't die, a peaceful life. You die in pain and agony like she did.
Right. This one actually surprised me.
No, this one I don't think is accurate.
Yeah, the heavy metals.
Yeah. I need to redo it again because it's not accurate.
It was a little surprising.
Yeah.
Environmental.
Sometimes there's a glitch and it doesn't pull in all of the data, and it does that with the heavy metals. So I'm going to rerun it next time it rains.
Yeah, so you can clearly see that that there's a problem here, and that people are being sprayed with chemicals and biologicals, right? That's a fact. Some of those parasites, like the fungus and the different parasites, the different bacteria, some of these things are attracted to metals, to chemicals. They thrive on them. And we know this about parasites. So, this piece of it, I'd like to say that I actually was, even though I see diabolical things every day, I was surprised to see how many mycotoxins were present in the rainwater.
Yeah, that surprised me as well.
And you
Because
wonder why homes have mold.
yeah, and it's really it's a big problem. Even just I think a big silent killer in people is candida, and
It is.
candida is fungus.
Yeah.
It's just, and it quietly disturbs the system, and it compounds and it compounds, and until next thing you know, it's completely out of control.
Yeah.
So the fact that that was in the rainwater to me was very, very surprising, but not.
Right. I, I just, I mean,
What I'd like to do, if you have a second, can you pull up my live blood analysis from 2023,
let's,
before we started working together,
yep.
so people can see how horrible my blood was.
Let's see, 2023.
I mean, I was, my blood cells were like pancakes, completely flattened together. I had so much debris and bacteria, and the analysis, and this was, really before I understood how important it was to cleanse my blood, how important I was, to do all the different things that I've learned to do. But when you
Yeah.
see it with your own eyes, it's one thing to see the numbers on the piece of paper, but when you see it with your own eyes, when you see the little parasites swimming through your blood, when you see your cells completely abnormal, you go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Not only
Yeah.
do I need to do something about this, I need to make sure that this will not happen again.
I have one email blocking it, so I'm going to try that other one and see if I can open it here.
Okay.
I should be able to. I use Exchange servers.
Could get some protection at least.
Yeah. Um, okay.
There you go.
There we go.
You
So
can make it
let me
zoom
see
in a
that.
little bit. Are you able to? Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yes, I mean, and look at my cells are like deformed.
Mhm.
This is before I started my ozone treatments, right?
Lots of
This,
root. Hmm.
yeah, and it's just, and and my liver was a mess. My liver was so clogged. And when this was ran for me, basically she said all of these marks on here was from my liver needing badly to be detoxed and cleaned, because I lived in mold for 3 years. I mean, this is what living in mold for 3 years looks like.
And very low hemoglobin. You can see that here. The cells don't have a lot of hemoglobin, lots of rouleau, um, obviously, right? So you have, I mean, it's not just your liver. I mean, this is obvious also environmental contamination.
Yeah.
So, this is what people are faced with all day, every day. I've personally done 13 liver cleanses. 13.
Yeah, I've done so many. They're the best. I love liver cleanses.
Right? I mean,
I
they
love
feel
them.
amazing. And people think that it's just so hard, and it's really not that hard. Um, and
Dr.
you get
Group's
lots
liver
of energy.
cleanse is fantastic.
It's
It's
really
fantastic.
good.
And
Hmm.
it's just a beautiful flush. Your body can only handle so much of the
Yeah.
toxic soup we live in, and you need to clear out your liver so it can work. And it's working overtime because of this toxic world we live in. If you can, okay. So again, this was before I had started all the cell core parasite protocols. This was your version 1.0. Now you're on version 2.0, which we're going to talk about later, which is the Dr. Group Parasite Cleanse, as well as your new product that you have on the line. But if you can look at it, if you open it, what you have now, you can just see such a difference. While you're pulling that up, I'll just talk to our viewers about phosphatidylcholine. Like, guys, we got to strengthen our cell membrane. We got to strengthen that wall that protects us. because when that wall is weak, it is so easy for these intruders to come through. And really, if you're not protecting your cell membrane, if you're not making it stronger, if you're not doing all the things you need to do, and it's not even complicated. You know, PC oils are pretty easy, readily available, easy to find. You could be on a hamster wheel where the parasites are entering your cells pretty easily, like they were with me. I had sent you a couple of videos of literally the parasites eating through my cells. They were eating my cells because my cell wall was just super weak.
Yeah, I mean, so not nearly as close together, not massive rouleau. You have some spacing, which is good. This looks, but you can see your cell membranes lighting up as well.
Yeah, it was a lot brighter. She was shocked to see how bright it was.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I've never seen your cells so bright before.
So this is, you know, how people talk about your auric field or your aura.
Yeah.
Our cells have the same thing. And I'm involved in a quantum hematology course right now, and it's next level. So you really want, you know, a big, bright, beautiful aura, and you want that at the cellular level because that transmutes all the way, you know, to your entire body. And all of this matters because strengthening yourself from the inside out is really how we have to do this. You know, I'm a huge fan of strengthening the cells, making sure that we're on offense as much as we are on defense. Very, very important. You know, eventually it's not going to be enough that we have a good offensive strategy. You actually do have to continue to take the garbage out of your body. Yeah.
Now, the very last email I sent you, open that one and you can see how my cells just were completely deformed in 2023.
Here we go.
There was another version of it where it just there wasn't any roundness to them.
Okay, got it. Check this out.
Yeah, this is 2023. And look at that. You see that big blob in there?
These don't look so bad. You know, a lot of people were trying to call this microplastic there in the beginning. This is polymer. This is when all of this first started, and you can start to see some of the threading that starts to happen. You do see cell wall breakdown here, and then over here as well. I don't think that your cells look too bad here, but you can tell how you're starting to react over here to the contaminant. Right?
Yeah, even above it. Look above it.
To
the left.
Yeah, and right up and through here.
Yeah, and none of this stuff showed in my recent one. None of this. It was all gone.
Ozonation, in all of my research, even throughout synthetic biology, ozonation was probably the most prominent way to remove nanotechnologies and their formations like these.
Yeah, and I did 12. I did 12 EBUs.
You did 12 of them.
I did 12.
And unfortunately, you know, for the audience, I mean, that's what it takes to be able to remove everything. And, you know, the normal, regular, everyday people, they're going to say that, right, the same thing I do. I don't have access to those things where I live. I get contaminated by everybody's everything, which is not fun. And, you know, we have to have solutions that we can, places like your place, like your center, that people can go to and get a jump start on this and clean out, and then get, you know, reasonable protocols and things that people can do every day at home just to keep themselves healthy.
Well, let's talk about your product that I, you know, I just bought a large shipment of, which I'm excited to be able to sell it.
Okay.
And you know, in addition to the parasite cleanse, and of course, we sell the PC oils as well. You know, we really, for people who can't afford to do the ozone, to do the EBU treatments, because it is expensive. You can do the supplement route. You can. It might take you a little longer to get there, but
Yeah.
it's still better than nothing. There's even ozone in liquid bottle as well. So there are many things that people can do if they can't afford the traditional treatments. And so I don't want to discourage people or let people think you have to come to a center like mine. I want them to know that the solutions are out there. You just need to be a little bit more patient because it might take a little longer to get there, but you still can be proactive and have solutions at home.
Yeah, there's nobody out there saying that we have to accept what they have given us. So let me get through here. Every time I do that and share screen again, it takes me to a different place.
Start over.
So yeah, that's okay. So this is Novolytic. So this is something that I developed after studying the synthetic contaminants for 3 years now, for a little over 3 years. And we have different things that we want to do. We want to strengthen the cell, but we also want to be able to get rid of contaminants. We want to oxidize nanoparticles. We want to remove hydrogels. The difficult piece of this is when you do start breaking down hydrogels, they spill their guts. Now, hydrogels are composed, they're all different. Some of them are composed of lanthanide nanoparticles, and those are used for bioluminescence. So your LED lighting, for instance, the schools, can you imagine what the kids go through? My gosh, because of all the LEDs and the electronics and the cell phone towers that you by and large see everywhere. So they have cell phone towers, it seems like on every baseball field. So these things are supercharged. So we had a lot of different goals, and Novolytic is a multifunctional enzymatic senolytic all in one. It also helps balance the pH in the blood, and it's cellular supportive. I had this presentation I did in London, and I had a little bit over 100 slides. I finished these slides in a matter of days with very, very difficult information to share,
Wow.
lots of analyses to bring together. But I was so laser focused, and I was actually taking my prototype of Novolytic at the time, testing it. I was very laser focused. Enzymes are more critical than what people realize for body functions, for 5,000 different metabolic processes in the body. They move faster than the speed of light. There's a blue plasma reaction that happens whenever enzymes are kicked off, things that science doesn't even really fully understand. So they're critical for all aspects of the body functioning properly. I said here 2 years of independent clinical research of synthetic biology. It's actually 3. What we were wanting to do was combat synthetic elements that cause disruption to human health. So what we focus on, and I believe what Leila focuses on, is absolute health potential. How can we get back to our health potential, start reversing age instead of, always being exposed to oxidative processes, DNA damage? How do we upregulate ourselves to prevent these things from happening? And I made a statement here. Global governments have agreed to transform humanity to fit their new technological revolution. And they use us as their batteries and their antennas, as their data storage devices, and their slaves. We are trying to address the self-replicating nanoparticles, the red blood cell harvesting hydrogels, the lanthanide metals, the senescent cells, the superconductive fibers that form synthetic clots and structures. And we're also trying to help protect DNA through an epigenetic protection, methylation. Removing heavy metals with products and binders while you're on Novolytic or going through parasite cleansing is the quickest way to a healthier body. So that's basically what Novolytic is. These are some of the ingredients. We're going to target synthetic contamination, various types of hydrogels, and their proliferation and stabilization, including bioluminescence. So I'm in there trying to attack also the bioluminescence activity of the different hydrogels. And we can do this by, here is a before and after. This was um, this was a lanthanide hydrogel. And I know this because I expect those to oxidize the way it did here.
I've seen some of those in my blood. The picture to the
Mhm.
left. I've seen that.
Yeah. Ozonation will also help break that down in that same fashion. But this is the way these lanthanide, when Karen Kingston, I listened to her like 4 years ago, maybe even longer, 4.5 years ago, and she broke down crying because she read that they were using these lanthanide metals. These lanthanide metals, and I go into this, I think I talked about it a little bit before in our previous conversation. There's an up conversion process that happens, and there's different spin states, and they can literally draw energy from each other as they continue to up convert and regulate. So it is an unlimited supply of battery power.
How
And this,
what's the time difference between the left and the right? How long
so,
were they on the supplements?
so this was actually my blood.
Okay.
So this is the same time frame. This was after 2 doses.
Oh wow.
So this lanthanide hydrogel was probably much bigger because you can see the cells, how they were reacting to it. It was
Yeah.
probably much
And
bigger than
it
this.
like sucks the energy out of them, right?
It totally hemolyzes them. So it takes and pulls the nutrients out of the cells. I have a recent video, and then this was just another area of the slide that looks fine. I mean, I'm around electronics and I have, cell phone contact. So I have a little bit of clumping going on here,
Yeah.
but my blood actually looks beautiful compared to, well, I can change my blood in 5 minutes just by eating seed oils.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I can
Yeah.
cause this massive polymerization effect
Seed
throughout the
oils are the
blood.
worst.
They're horrible. I
I
purposely,
lived on seed
so
oils until I was 40. I had no clue.
before I did this test, I wanted really to pulse Novolytic because I wanted my blood to look as bad as I could make it look. I was at a state basketball game and tournament, and I had all sorts of terrible nachos, with the plastic cheese and the jalapenos that were
Oh boy.
probably well preserved. I had a bunch of that. I came home and I had chips that were not done in avocado oil or olive oil, and I made my blood look pretty terrible. And because I really wanted to test Novolytic, I wanted to see how powerful it could be.
Now the
And
image
I
to
get
the
in there,
right was after 2 days or the same day, just different part of the slide.
same page, just different part of the slide,
Okay, okay, okay.
so that you can see that you're not seeing the nanoparticles.
Yeah.
Okay. You can see I've got, some larger platelets here. And that's okay because I use something that has a specific xylitol in it, and xylitol can cause platelet clumping. So I expect to see some of that here and there. What I was really looking for was a decreased number of nanoparticles. I was looking to destroy all types of hydrogels, lanthanides, pH based, glucose based, all of the different polymers that are used inside of the hydrogels. Also, what I really wanted to do, I've been after the self replicatory DNA based particles for a couple of years. So I finally have the combination of ingredients, I think, mastered to where we can slow down their self replicatory process. Is it a cure? No. There is no cure for this. We can't treat or cure. What I'm doing here is giving the body a chance, helping to break this stuff down so that the liver isn't overwhelmed and that your kidneys are not overwhelmed.
Right.
When you see the big antennas and the fibers that our organs have to try to clean up and pass while they're inundated with mycotoxins from the rain, chemicals from the fog, and the snow. I mean, it's insane. What we have to do.
It just goes to show how powerful our bodies are, and
Right.
that the only reason there's so many people getting these cancers at a young age is because it's become way too overwhelming. I mean, it's a constant attack from the
Right.
time you're 1 day old
Yeah.
1 day old, you're being attacked with vaccines.
Fluoridated water. Fluoridated water.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You're bathing in it, you're showering in it, your skin is absorbing it,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you don't have a good whole house system
Yep.
that removes metals and chemicals, which let's face it, probably 90% of the United States can't afford, maybe more,
Yeah,
you know?
it's true.
So this is a constant poisoning. And here's the thing is with the COVID injections, for instance, nanoparticles, yes, there was a cancer promoting gene that was installed and injected. So you have a cancer promoting gene in the system. Plus, you have all of these different types of contaminants that we get exposed to right through the rain and the snow and the fog, and the food and the water,
Yep.
right? And then
And
you have all of these nanoparticles that self replicate.
and just a reminder again, of course, eating organic is the best way to go. But even if you're eating organic, if it's coming from the rain, as you saw, there was glyphosate in that sample. The rain is spraying glyphosate on your food. So there
Right.
isn't any way to completely avoid it. Of course, you don't want non-organic because it's sprayed even more and directly, but it's just unavoidable. So
Right.
do you have a after taking the supplement for 2 days?
No, so this is actually just 2 doses. This was 2 doses.
Oh, you had
And
already started to do the 2 doses on here. Okay, I got it.
right. And so by 2 doses, basically 4 capsules. It was pretty unbelievable. It,
But the 4 capsules, explain to us what exactly it's doing here.
yeah. So I've got ingredients in the capsule that they're enzymatic. I upregulate the enzymes using another ingredient that I have there. And I'm using specific enzymes that are alkaline fermented. So, and then I give them an upregulation. So they're supercharged. There's a couple of different ingredients in that product that will allow that to happen. Then also, I have another one in there that will help oxidize any of the lanthanide metals. These are difficult to get rid of. So I use an oxidation process in here. And again, these are things that are very, very safe, that our body recognizes, completely safe. And then what I do is I use a fairly strong amount of a senolytic that is safe for everyday use. A lot of senolytics out there, and I'll explain to your audience this, they are meant to be taken, say, once a month.
Yeah.
Right? Because you want all your dead cells to be present, and then you come in with a senolytic that removes what we call zombie cells or senescent cells, cells that are no longer dividing. Their DNA is damaged, and let's face it, that's going to happen, in the presence of nanoparticles or graphene or chemicals. So once a month, very strong senolytics are used in the longevity world, to come in and just remove senescent cells. So what I did is I figured out that there are these different lipid vesicle structures that are constantly formed with the nanoparticles. I can remove those with a good senolytic. And so there's a couple of ingredients in that capsule that I use. So I'm going after those lipid vesicles that are being formed, as well as the nanoparticles. The DNA self-replicatory process, I'm upregulating the enzymes, and they're breaking down the hydrogels that are not lanthanide based. So if you can affect the spin states of the particles, if you can start removing the backbones and the structures and the cross-linking that's happening with these different hydrogels, you can start to make the blood look really, really good. The other thing that I did was I threw in there an ingredient that can help permeate a cell membrane in a very natural biological way. It will help with pain or discomfort, but it'll also help upregulate the enzymes. The other one is very, very strong protection for your lipid membranes around your red cells. And that's also happening. We are increasing the production of oxygen and hemoglobin. So hemoglobin in particular, that's also happening. So yeah. And I can tell you that I've had these hydrogels all over my body.
What would this screenshot have looked like if you did a look before you took your supplements?
This was actually a large hydrogel that is breaking down, and we'll go through urine therapy.
So, Maria, this was your blood before you.
This was just some testing that I had done. So this is a hydrogel. So this is an example of a hydrogel that's breaking down.
Is this your blood?
Yep.
And all the cells are super clumped together.
Yep. See how the hydrogels take over the red cells. And this is, so I do a ton of different testing. I know how to make my blood look better. I know how to make it look bad. I expected hydrogel based on what I was doing here. Jeez. Okay. Like so that was an expected result. But here is why I have an expensive microscope, because whenever I use it, I can actually apply 3 different layers of fluorescence to tell people, there are people out there, oh, this is an air bubble. No, it's not. It's a hydrogel. I've been doing this a long time. Yeah. Not only do they exist, they're naughty. You can see it breaking down.
People are still getting COVID shots, so.
Yeah, that's true. And you can see the ghost cells this is phase contrast, and this is after I have applied all the different levels of fluorescence to this. This is inorganic material. Wow. And around the outside, they're actually made of robotics that are basically like a containment for the hydrogels. Let's see. This was another one. So at any given time, something can look like this. So this is a broken down hydrogel polymer, right? And here's what's remaining. And, there are other scientists out there, and they'll call them ribbons or threads. They actually are all composed of the same material. Okay. And whenever I apply fluorescence, this is in part how I diagnose the type of metals that are being used. Jeez. So then I go to my synthetic biology books and I say, okay, which ones are going to cause this type of emission or excitation? So, and they all do something different based on if I'm looking at excitation of nanoparticles or emission. So it's a very difficult picture to put together. This is red fluorescence. What happened here, this is made most likely of silicon. Okay. This was in my blood. I can't remember which one I was testing, but if I go off my protocol, then something, the garbage comes out and something shows up. You see how down here, these are not bright, these red blood cells?
Yeah.
I left, remember when you said you leave your blood for 24 hours,
yes,
come back and it forms different things.
Yes.
Okay. This had been sitting for 24 hours. And you can see, this is what I describe as a container vessel. And these cells did not light up, but the ones closest to it did, but only after the transceiver was formed by the nanoparticles. So you can see that triangle right there. Then what I did was I said, okay, that's made of a different material, so I'm going to fluoresce it. And this is what you get when you fluoresce it. So this is made of a different material than this, but they form a perfect transceiver. It looks like they're forming another one. And basically this is all they're converting the red cells. Wow. Some people describe them as just synthetic, which is what I say. So we're not getting too technical, but you can see the different particles here inside of the red cells infecting them, because this is your transceiver. Then they start to light up and they'll most likely turn to synthetic. So this is what we fight all day, every day. So what I teach people is, it's really, and you can see down here, these cells are unaffected. Well, because this is your transceiver
Take a
up
look
here.
at what I just sent you. You see that?
Yep.
It wasn't there before.
Yeah. So they're lining up.
It's crazy.
Yeah. They will come out.
They're
They will
lining
come
up.
out and it's part of their network,
It's
part of their
crazy.
framework.
Wow.
Yeah. So
So
unfortunately, that's where
so
we
so
are.
so when I get my batch of your new supplement, what will it prevent this from happening?
Yeah. So what it'll do, and it depends on how infected someone is. Um, Over time, we should be able to keep a relatively clean slate with minimal contamination. And I say that because I want to make sure that everyone's expectations are um, realistic.
Yeah.
Because again, it's dependent upon your diet. It's not a license to go out and eat seed oils.
Mm.
Seed oils help, the hydrogels build
Right.
their scaffolding. Okay. And our American diet is nothing but you go into any restaurant, they're using seed oils.
Mm-hmm.
You think that you're doing good by ordering just eggs or, eggs and fruit or something like that. It's not organic fruit, right? And you're basically getting hit with seed oils because this is how food is cooked.
Yeah.
Canola, vegetable,
Yeah.
safflower, sunflower. There isn't a good seed oil out there. According to my research, the hydrogels proliferate in the presence of. They also proliferate in the presence of carbonation,
Wow.
carboxylic acid. So it creates a very, a very friendly acidic environment inside of the blood. And what Novolytic will do is restore the pH. And the idea is it's 2 capsules, morning, afternoon, and evening, easy to swallow. And what that'll do is that'll give your liver a break, right? It'll start breaking some of this stuff down so that your organs don't have to.
Oh, interesting.
So they're not under constant assault. If we can chew some of this up, imagine, your body trying, your immune cells trying to go in and attack a massive hydrogel. Did you see the sizes in
Right.
comparison? I mean,
Yes.
we can't do it.
So it's like a blender. It breaks it down.
Yeah.
It breaks it down.
Yeah.
So your liver doesn't need to do all
Yes.
that work.
So it will go in and it will chew it up. And I know the particular enzymes that are in the right ratios to be able to go after this stuff. Now, you can use it for digestion, but if you use it for digestion, and it's not just enzymes in there, there are multiple ingredients in there and they all act synergistically. The idea is to be able to take them on an empty stomach so that you can start to remove some of the garbage and free up your immune cells so that your body can heal again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, and it's going to get rid of the zombie cells as well.
Mm-hmm. It does a really good job of cleaning those out. And depending on how many you have, you want to step into it carefully. You can take up to 6 capsules a day.
Yeah.
Our recommendation is to start with 2 and watch yourself over time. Now, you, Leila, no problem. Start with your 6. Go after it.
They call me crazy.
I'm starting with 6. My husband's starting with 6, and he didn't get any of the prototype because I wouldn't give it up. I felt so good, I wouldn't give it up. Yeah, and here's the thing: is there's people.
Is it possible to feel? You know how sometimes you get a Herx reaction because you're dumping a lot. Is it possible to get that feeling? Because I know sometimes, you could get cold-like symptoms when you are getting rid of the zombie cells.
So it depends on the person. I mean, I think anything is possible, especially if we start breaking these things down. The beautiful thing is that you could add a binder, right? You could add the toxin binder, the global healing toxin binder, ozonated activated charcoal, and help pull some of that garbage out of your blood after it's been broken down. You could do that. I I actually recommend that. I mean, that's what I'll be doing because I know I'm going to be chewing this garbage up all day, every day.
So, would you recommend for people to just like this is their new supplement that they just take like they're taking vitamin C every day?
Yeah. Let me show you something
Standard.
else. I just want to show you this slide again. I went over it before, but this was post senolytic. So this is urine, and these are all the different types of metals that came out.
Awesome.
These are cells, and they've been completely infested.
Wow.
So it's important.
So this came
Um,
out after taking your new supplement. After you were taking your new supplement, that's what the urine looked
correct.
like.
Correct. So this is what I wanted to show you. So this one, the reason we put this product in the package, the organism detox package,
Yeah.
is because it is this is the third generation, which Global Healing has private labeled from me, which is wonderful because they have a bigger reach and they can get this out to more people.
Right.
It's called Insulus, but the first generation of Insulus, I received a diabetic treatment patent in February of this year
Wow.
on that particular formulation. Now, that particular formulation also won the Best Anti-Aging Award in 2022 in New York City,
Wow.
global. Mm-hmm. And what's really remarkable about it is that it is a sublingual tincture.
Wow.
5 drops, put it in your mouth under your tongue, and you leave it set there before you eat so that it will go in and help stabilize your blood sugars. Why? Because diabetes is in large in part an inflammatory disease. And if we can, I have to be correct here with my wording so that we're not treating, but if we can positively affect glucose in the body and keep that under control, we can control inflammation. We can free up our white blood cells to go in and do everything else that they're supposed to be doing, right? And what I do is I use an alkemide, Echinacea purpura, as a driver in a very tiny microdosed amount. What that does is it allows us to go after the CB1, CB2 receptors, as well as the COX1 and COX2 pathways, inflammatory pathways. So we can access all of these different areas all at one time with just this one little product, right? And then deliver all of the ingredients inside of it that allow us to repair mitochondria, protect our telomeres, stop inflammatory reactions like, how do I want to say this? When people get sores on their mouth or in their mouth or on their genitals and places like that, flare-ups, it's patent pending as an antiviral.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And
even the ones on your face?
Yes.
Wow.
So you can put it on topically. If somebody feels something coming on, they can use that topically. It'll never erupt.
Wow. Amazing.
Yep. Yep. And this just goes into the different receptors that we use. And we're, using the microsomal process from Global Healing, which is incredible. Rapidly decreasing inflammation or interleukins, and using a phospholipid in perfect ratio. So we're strengthening cells. And then tissue regeneration. So the reason it won the Anti-Aging Award in New York City is because we were able to demonstrate before and afters like you've never seen before.
Wow.
Basically rebuilding tissue in the face, removing spots and things like that. Yeah.
Topically?
No, you can. It's the only sublingual topical, I believe, on the market.
Wow.
So you can do both, but it worked, just as a sublingual.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that one is and the other reason that we put it in that's part of the patent. This is before and this is after, just one dose.
Wow.
This is just stabilizing blood sugar.
Amazing.
And that's a type 1.
Does it also decrease the A1C?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
Increases kidney function. So the other thing that we're going through And we use this and we can touch all of these different cells, all of these different types of cells with this formulation. So imagine when you use Insulis with Novolytic. The other reason that I put it in the detox package, the organism detox package, is because it supports the liver. You have to have glutathione intracellular and you have to have selenium intracellular. You have to have these to support your liver and your detox pathways as you're going through any kind of a remediation type of a program. Very, very important to support your organs at the same time, as well as your cells, and start to free things up for your immune cells. And this is just one of our telomere results. So this is a 47-year-old female, and she has 9.35. She has the telomeres of about a 12-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's from being on this
tincture.
Wow. I did this like yesterday.
Yeah. And then this is what I did. So this was an in vitro study for Insulis. And the in vitro study, what I did was I took a drop of blood, or about 5 drops of blood, with a little drop of Insulis, because I wanted to show people that it will bind the polymers and graphene. So it will bind them. And then what I did was I added toxin binder, the microsomal that I helped Dr. Group with Global Healing. And the toxin binder does not affect anything that's organic, and it goes in and it binds.
Wow.
After the Insulis grabs it and pulls it out of the bloodstream, the toxin binder goes and does an overlay. Wow. And will carry it out. And that's just a 2-minute time lapse.
Wow. That's so cool.
And then this is really cool. So what I wanted to do was, I have a family member who took 2 of the Pfizer injections. And she has not been off this formulation in the 3 years that I've had it. So she was on it before and during and after the injections. And she's still, I watched her hike up Devil's Tower. And I wanted to run a telomere test on her. And she's 70 years old. Wow. 70 years old. And her telomere result is 9.96. At the age of 70, she should be down here, closer to 8 or 7. Here, she should be at 70 years old. She should be at right here. So she should be about 6.5.
Wow.
So this tells me that her telomeres are protected.
Wow.
That her DNA has at least some protection.
Well, I just ordered a bunch of these, so I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's Insulis. And this is just some of her antioxidant, her immunodex performance. And what we do know about the injections is that you have a significant reduction, after 2 of those injections, upwards of 75% reduction in your immune response, in your immune cell activity. And what this is demonstrating is that she is still on par.
Wow.
So for her age,
lucky she had you,
which is pretty cool. And then that is, wow. And then what I also wanted to show your viewers is, let's go through. Do you want to go through some of the before and after urine therapy, or no? Do you want to save that for next time?
We're going to save that for the next episode.
Okay. Let's do that.
There were more items in the kit that we ordered. I want to go over all of them.
This is an example of the EDTA. So EDTA is a chelator. And what it'll do is it will take, this is all hydrogel in through here, breaking down. This is in the urine.
Wow.
So this is demonstrating to us, we had one of our doctors did a big sort of chelation study on the binder and the EDTA, just to take a look and make sure that they were wow. working. And this is an example of, the hydrogel breaking down, and this is what comes out.
And this is from his toxin binder, or the EDTA, or all of it combined?
EDTA.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this his EDTA is pretty powerful. I know Brian Artist talks a lot about it.
Mm-hmm. The EDTA is such a beautiful product. It's really soft, so people don't really have to worry about, I'm going to show this to you. Remember when I said that the hydrogels, the borders were composed of soft robotics?
Yeah.
and here you are.
Wow.
Hmm. This is
That's
how they
nice.
break down. Hmm.
They don't mess around,
Yeah.
do they?
No, and it's coming out, so it's been deactivated, completely deactivated, and that's just the magic of the EDTA. Um,
Incredible.
the other one that's
And
in
it doesn't
there
taste bad
is,
either.
oh my gosh, no, it doesn't taste bad at all. This was after the toxin binder. This is actually in vivo. So this is a hydrogel that's breaking down.
Wow.
And I was talking to Dr. Lee Merritt, and she
So,
says,
so
I don't know.
the toxin binder is like attacking it and breaking it down.
The toxin binder basically helps deactivate it. So one of the products like your EDTA, it will pull and grab metals, right? Um, the but it's nice to have something carrying out the trash,
Right.
right? So you can put it in the garbage can, right? And you can get it all into one can, but you really need to
Dump it out.
carry it out,
Yeah.
right? And it's
Yeah.
much better to have a toxin binder to be able to do that, so that nothing escapes, something doesn't reabsorb somewhere,
Right.
and you want your toxin binder for that reason.
Yeah.
The other thing, when we're talking about the parasites like the ropeworms and things like that,
Yeah.
parasites love metals. They love heavy metals. And it causes an imbalance in the pH in your blood. So the more metals, the better for them. They proliferate whenever we don't have a good auric field. You can't have a good auric field or a cellular field if you are in the presence, if your blood is constantly in the presence of heavy metals and acidity,
Yeah.
period.
Definitely.
So you have to carry the garbage out,
Mm-hmm.
not just the parasites that are in your intestines,
Right.
but also in your blood. I talked to Dr. Group about this because some docs will say, I was having a conversation with some of them, gosh, I don't think I want charcoal in my blood. It should be in my intestines. This is ozonated charcoal. So it has at least 10 times the affinity and the binding capacity than what a regular charcoal will have. This is ozonated. The toxin binder is special. It has other ingredients in it. It's microsomal. So it will actually get through, will get into the blood and causes no harm whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an example of the toxin binder binding the polymer that has already been broken down.
You mentioned Lee Merritt. Where her work is incredible. I mean, the way she talks about MS and the parasites and MS, and I mean, she was a traditional orthopedic surgeon.
Yeah.
That came from the Army, right? Was it the
Right.
Army?
Yep.
And she was red pilled. Like she couldn't believe the things that she even learned. I mean, she's really amazing. I met her once at an event we were both speaking at, and I just thought, wow, this lady is so advanced.
She's hysterical. I love Lee. And, it's not, if I might see a text, late at night, where she's found something and you got to see this, or you got, you know what I mean? Like we all just kind of collaborate and talk and just talk through things, because not everything is believable. And, and I've done her show a couple of times and we've had a blast. What did I tell her one day? I said, Lee, don't chew me up and spit me out. I'm just going to show you, that type of thing. But she's actually adorable. And, thank goodness for voices like hers.
Yeah. She's so
smart.
Brilliant.
And so the Insulus is supporting you. The Para One, so we can talk about that for a minute. Now, the Para One actually has anti-venom properties in it. That one comes from Cellcore, and I'm still working with Ed and Global Healing to make sure that we can be as potent as what we need to be, so that we have a good Global Healing anti-parasitic line. But for right now,
he told me he's working on it.
Yeah. Para One from Cellcore is still going to be gold standard right now. What we did with the Paratrex 2, I don't have that folder transferred, but Paratrex 2 is also in the kit. And seriously, Leila, how many pills did we take a day doing the intermediate to advanced, like 25 pills a day?
Lots. Yes, we did.
Trying to get rid of the ropes.
And I had my girls on the beginner. They did it though. I mean,
And they
they do
passed
a lot.
ropes,
Oh my God,
right?
they passed so much stuff. They passed
Yeah.
liver flukes. They passed a lot of stuff.
And they're young.
They're so young. They're
And they're
so
young.
young. They
You
lived
know,
with me in mold for 3 years. You know, you just when
yeah.
your terrain gets destroyed like that, of course you're gonna have major parasites.
Right. And I'm going to tell you something really quick that I've recently learned about the ropes. So remember we talked and it's like, why do people have like thousands of these things, many hundreds to thousands of these things, and even children have them. Um, they're not completely biological. I've discussed this with you. Um, Sort of a synbio type of life form, but they secrete venoms in through the intestinal wall. They're called VALs, VALS, these venom proteins. A couple years ago, after those injections rolled out, scientists were talking about how the salivary glands have changed. Not me as a scientist, other scientists. And I listen to as much as I can to try to make sure that I'm putting the pieces of the puzzle together
Yeah.
properly, because this is not my tech.
Right.
There's no standardization for the garbage that we see now.
Yeah.
The salivary glands. I had a collaborator, a friend of mine from Sweden, reach out to me recently. And she said, "Oh my gosh, Maria, I found the same vertebral structures, spines in my saliva." And she sent me the images. And I said, "Wow, those look exactly like the ones from the intestines, exactly like the hybrid ropes in the intestines in her fresh saliva."
You know what? My lady is also testing the saliva as well.
Mm-hmm.
She tested mine. She actually said she was surprised she didn't see it there, but she's seeing them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
look like
So the
snakes, she said.
spines, the spines are there. And when you think about how many times a day you swallow, and if these venom proteins are there and throughout the body, people come and they ask me, and I'm sure that they ask you all the time, do I have to do like nanotechnology remediation, or do I have to do parasite remediation? And so what I've done is done my best to combine these things so that people can just be on the organism detox protocol, add the Novolytic to get rid of the synthetic garbage as well, like that's in the bloodstream.
So what we do, it's a little different. It's really based on what they can afford, right? So
right.
People that can afford more things, when they come to us right away, we get them on the EBOOs. That's like step one. While we wait for their labs to come back, because we'll run fatty acid tests. We want to look at the cell membrane. And then we'll get them on the PC oils. And once their labs come back, again, this is based on someone's budget. If they can afford the PCIVs, which goes even deeper, I'll actually, in a minute, we can open my labs and I can kind of show you how much even deeper the PC oil IVs go. And what I've been seeing has blown my mind. I'm getting out pesticides, DDT.
Yes.
That has been stored in my body forever. And when I was running my Vibrant urine analysis, it wasn't coming out. It wasn't coming out. It wasn't coming out until finally I did like 16 IVs.
Yeah.
And another strange pesticide. You remember the pesticide that is supposed to like frogs, doing something to frogs? It starts with an A. Astra something. I can show you it on my labs. That also came out after the IVs.
Wow.
So because it's oil based, it locks into your cells, and there isn't any amount of detoxing that you can do to have these come out. You could take the supplements, but you'll have to take the supplements for a really long time. So that's the unfortunate part, is that you need to get the IVs if you really, really, really want to go in deep. And then, of course, we push the parasite cleanses, the liver cleanses, all of that stuff. It's just, you need to just give your body, just revamp it. And then, we have people that say, like, look, I don't want to do this for more than 6 months. We try and tailor to the person, because not everybody's crazy like me or you. where I'm going to be doing stuff for the rest of my life. Everybody teases me and they laugh at me, but it's like, listen, I have a goal to live
Yes.
a really long life, and I
Mhm.
want to be a great grandma, one day. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is if I stay ahead of the curve and I get this crap out of my body, I keep my cell membrane strong, and I keep the parasites out, and I keep my liver and my gallbladder and my kidneys clean.
Agreed.
So it's what do you want? How much do you want to put into this is what you're going to get out on the back end.
And
That's
if
the
we
way I
can
look
give
at it.
people like a 6-month goal,
Yeah.
please try to do anything for 6 months, and then you can tailor some sort of a maintenance protocol.
Yeah.
The Paratrex 2 is also an anti-venom. Okay. So, keep thinking, when we go over things like with the practitioners, everything, that the Paratrex 2 is sort of an all-in-one.
Yeah.
It got rid of so many pills.
It's amazing.
It's much stronger because it's a microsomal, so we can get to the brain. We can get inside of the liver. There's a lot of places we can get to
That's
that we
great.
couldn't before,
That's
but
great.
now we have this microsomal Paratrex 2.
That's amazing. Yeah, I tell people this, there are some people that say, you tell me how long you want to do this, And some people say, look, I can do things for 90 days straight and then I need a break. And then I'll jump back on. We can tailor anything for what you want, the capacity that you have, because everybody has a different capacity. Like my mom, for example, she's 72. She's like, you just give me 3 things. I'm not taking more than 3 things. So
I've had people tell me that. What's the one thing that I can do?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Right now?
You have to tailor it to some people that if that's what they want, like it's better than nothing. Mm-hmm. So I tell my mom, look, it's better than nothing,
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
And that's a roadblock, that we'll have with some people. It just depends on what their goals are. There's no way that if somebody came to me and they said, what's the one thing that I can do to suppress all the nanotechnology? So I knew this when I was developing Novolytic, because I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
This is the best that I can do for you. Knowing the technology as well as I do, this is the best I can do for you against the technology, something that you can do at home. Otherwise, we need to have some conversations.
I'm going to get my mom on this right away. Right now, I've got her taking PC oils.
Yes.
Which I'm glad she's on, but I'm going to substitute one of her other ones for this one as well. And I'm excited about trying it.
And I want to know how she feels.
Yeah.
No, especially because the older the person is, the more they should feel.
You know what I'm going to do before I get her on it? I'm going to test her telomeres.
Do that.
I think that would be a great test. I'm going to do her telomere test, and then what should I retest in 30 days or 60 days? What do you recommend?
So on Insulis, because the telomeres aren't going to change, nearly as fast as like your A1C or your blood sugars or whatever. Yeah. You'll want to look at her alkaline phosphatase, right? Her bone degradation. So what Insulis will do, it'll go in and actually stop that degradation. Yeah. So,
all right, so maybe when we go offline, you tell me which ones
full
to do.
labs, I'll tell you which ones to do.
And I'll rerun it, and then I'll check back in 90 days. So give it 90 days.
Give it 90 days, and you'll want kidney studies, because we have a lot of people that write in and say, hey, my kidney function is increased by 20 to 40%.
Wow. Amazing.
And that's just removing some of that, the inflammatory gunk that's going on and the oxidation. And whenever you start taking that with Novolytic, and Novolytic's doing the heavy lifting, with some of the other things, and then incorporating your enzymes and getting rid of the dead cells for your immune system,
right?
It should be next level.
So one of the things that I find fascinating is, and I won't mention his name, but there's a doctor out there who is like basically poo-pooing PC oils. He's telling people to not take them. And, I don't listen to anybody until I run labs, because labs tell me everything that I need to know. Mm-hmm. But if you can look on here, if you can zoom in a little bit to the PR index and the fluidity index, you can see that when I took these labs, and these were taken in September, So mind you, like I've done the parasite cleanses, I've done so many amazing things,
Yep.
ozone to clean up my blood, right?
Mhm.
But as long as my number, my peer index was this high, which is 412, which is ridiculous, it should be zero, I wasn't naturally detoxing anything. Basically, that's a paroxysmal respiration, and my cells were holding on to toxins like, I don't know, glue on a piece of paper. Right?
Mhm.
And my fluidity was a negative 130. It's supposed to
Yeah.
be a zero. My MR
Wow.
index, which is my mitochondria respiration, was a negative 22. And then, of
Ooh.
course, I have, you can scroll up and see, I had so many other numbers that were just completely out of whack. Out of whack, right?
Oh my goodness.
90 days of taking just the supplements, right? Because I like to test, and I like to test without doing other stuff.
Right.
Now you
Right.
can pull up the 90-day one and you can see.
Look at your myelination.
I was a disaster. I was a
Okay.
complete
Let's
disaster.
look at this other one.
Yeah, so now look at the other one. I mean, look at this. Look how beautiful this is. 94 is still high, but
So
I
what?
was
It's
a
not
412.
417.
Yeah. Right? Look at this.
Look at your,
Look at my myelination. Clean. I'm clean. I was headed towards Parkinson's and dementia. That's
wow.
where I was going. My fluidity index from a negative 130 to a 5. Are you kidding me?
5
In 90 days? And this is
NPR.
just off of supplements, right? So, again, I like to do
Just off
these
the
tests.
PC oils, right?
This is the PC oils, yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
like to do these tests because, for somebody who can't afford to come into
Yeah.
the wellness center, don't worry. You can stay at home. You could take these supplements. You could take your supplements, Global Healing. You can do things based on your budget, right? If you can only
Right.
afford one or two, maybe it's your new product that you just came out with. Maybe it's, just the PC oils. It's something. It's better than nothing. And what I love about the PC oils is it's detoxing your liver like crazy as well, right? So it has just so many things that it's doing, and the stronger your cell membrane, the less of a chance these little intruders are going to be basically breaking down your cell walls and entering into your cells.
I think I called that methylation. This is myelination.
Oh yes,
Um,
myelination.
mine is
Yes,
54.
and
That's where I was really,
it was resolved. It's gone. 90 days
wow. No,
resolved.
that's actually really impressive. Hmm.
You
Really
know,
impressive.
I mean, it's just, and I had so many this isn't the detailed report, but when you
Right.
look at the very detailed report, it's like, I don't know, 30 pages. I had so many line items that were out of whack.
Mhm.
And in 90 days, I would say probably more than half of them came into the normal range. So if you open these labs, you're going to see right before I started taking the PC oils, I did a vibrant test. And if you look at the previous results, that was from September 2024.
Okay.
Okay. The current results is from January. So that's after 3 months of taking the PC oils, right? So anybody else might look at this on a standalone basis and say, "Oh my God, what are you doing? That's so toxic. Why are you like so toxic right now?" No, 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 no. That's not what's happening. The previous results are green because my cells and my tissue was holding on. I was holding on to all the toxins and not releasing it. I was
So
not detoxing.
that's what people don't understand about, like chelation therapy and when they're measuring before and afters. You want to actually see these numbers climb
Yes.
after you start doing some sort of a detox process because you want to see that it's being eliminated in the
Yes.
bloodstream. And
Yes.
also, that toxin binder or binders can help you. Once these things are released, you want to have a very efficient liver and kidney,
Yeah.
and you want to be on some sort of binder to help grab some of this garbage. It'll help with the herxing for sure.
Absolutely. But if you
Yeah.
scroll up, just scroll up to the top a little bit, because I just, like, for me, when I saw how many items were green and then flipped to red,
Yeah.
I mean, it blew my mind.
Yeah.
And you can scroll down a little bit more. I'm going to show you.
Thallium was in the chemtrails and the fog.
Yes, yes.
No.
And
So
tin.
yeah.
Tin was in there. I show tin in here. But again, that's the problem. You see the tin? My body was holding on to the tin.
Yep.
And
Yep.
they know that. They know
Yep.
your body is going to hold on to this stuff. I mean, look how much came out.
Barium.
Look, a couple of these items were in your analysis, right?
Yep.
The barium, wasn't the
Aluminum
barium in there?
was barium, cadmium, Mike Adams found. Um, he also found cesium. I found tin. I also found
You found the
thallium.
STC, right? Up there? STC? Didn't you find that?
No,
Oh,
no,
I found that. I found that.
that
That
was
was
in
in the
your
rainwater.
rain. That
So
was in the
look at
rain.
this. Like, when you look at this report, so many of these items is from the rain, the chemtrails, right?
A
Because I'm like,
lot.
why would I have tin in my body? Where's the tin? Where are all these things coming from? Now you know,
Now you
right?
know.
And again, I like to show this to people who say, Leila, I can't afford to come to your wellness center. Well, don't worry, you can do stuff at home. I
Okay.
get it, and that's why I did this test to
Yeah.
see what could happen on a smaller budget. What could you actually do? I mean, look at
Oh my
this. This,
goodness.
this is
Look at your
crazy. Look
mycotoxins.
at the mycotoxins. I mean, it's mind blowing, no?
Yeah.
Okay, a few of these we found, if you go up a little, a few of these we found in the rainwater. A few of them.
Oh
It was
yeah.
in the
There were several
rainwater.
mycotoxins.
Now I'm going to show you something fascinating. Open the next email that was dated May 12th. So look at this. DDA, that's a derivative of DDT. And
Oh
that's what it comes out as in the urine.
goodness.
DDA. Okay, so look at this. This is going to blow your mind. This is the unfortunate part that you really need the IVs, because maybe you can get it out with the supplements. I don't know. Maybe it's just going to take you a lot longer. But the previous results are March. So that's at that point I had done about probably 12 or 10 PCIVs.
Mm-hmm.
No, maybe about 10 PCIVs. So I still wasn't getting out
Mm-hmm.
much DDA.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I retook it in May, I had done about 16 PCIVs. It took that long to pull out the DDA.
So
PERC is also a pesticide.
let me give you this scenario. So a red blood cell lives only 120 days. Your body gets rid of through apoptosis, gets rid of these dead senescent cells every 120 days. And for the audience, just so people understand, the chemicals that are in your red cells are most likely, everywhere in your body, in your bone marrow,
Yes.
right? Because
Tissue, in your organs,
everywhere,
everywhere.
they're
Yes.
everywhere. And then your cells take this on. So this is an ongoing process because we would be able to get rid of the infected cells. I mean, this could happen, but it sounds to me like the oils are actually drawing this out of everywhere.
Yeah.
This isn't just a cellular thing. This is something that's happening
Yes.
throughout the body
Yes.
because the body obviously is recognizing these oils as this is something that I need. You get absolute bioavailability. It's getting to the tissues, not just like cells in the bloodstream. We're talking about
Yes.
bone marrow,
Yes.
tissues, organs, everything,
Everything.
right? Everything.
100%. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Mhm.
So when you scroll down, I want to show you another one that's fascinating. Okay, again, you can see here, if you break it down by category, look at the lead. Look at the lead. If you look at the last set of labs that you pulled up,
Huh?
the lead had
The lead
jumped
was
to it had jumped to 5.0.
Yeah.
It was off the charts on the last ones in January, and that was just from the PC oils pulling it out of my body. So the PC oils did a fantastic job pulling the lead out. It also did a fantastic job pulling out the BPA levels.
Mm-hmm.
I'm even lower now. I
I was going
started.
to say, and then I see where this is at now. This is actually really, this one, this is
Yeah.
really, really good because it means that she's actually,
Now I'm finally coming
predicted
down.
correct.
Yes.
Fine. So you should have this rise and fall is really
Yes.
what you should be able to show. Mhm.
What here's the frog one. Atrazine. Atrazine.
Atrazine.
Okay, so when I did just the supplements, I was not getting any atrazine. It wasn't until I did the IVs. And then I
Hmm.
got out point 0.2. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Wow. And then coming back down.
And then coming back down. Now this BPA number is fascinating. When I first time I ever ran my labs, my BPA numbers were a 40. That's when
Hmm.
I had breast implants. And nobody even told me, hey, it could be
Yeah.
breast implants. I had to figure that out on my own.
Yeah.
You know,
Because we're all citizen scientists.
yeah, exactly. That's what we have to be, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
after I took them out and then, continuing all the detoxing that I was doing, they started to drop and drop. But then they remained around 12 to 15. I
Yeah.
couldn't get the BPA numbers down to where I have them now until I started the PCIVs.
Wow.
And it went from a 15 to a 12 to a 3, which I'm ecstatic about because I've been dealing with this
Yeah.
since I first
Yeah.
saw it 4 years ago,
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see if you scroll down, then you'll see it broken down by category. Again,
Hmm.
you've got the mycotoxins, which have been coming down pretty nicely.
Look at that.
Again, after the first one, they spiked, but then they've been coming down, which shows the detoxing that I'm doing is working.
Are you doing every 90-day testing
I'm a
on
little
this
bit crazier. I've been doing
monthly?
I did 90 and then I
Yeah.
did 90 and then I did no March to May, a little less than 90 days, but yeah. That's
So
it's
we
when I
ran,
change or I increase a different
yeah,
protocol, then I always test again because I like to see what's going on.
you're
But
gonna like this. We used Vibrant Labs whenever we were looking at, the EDTA and the toxin binder. Toxin binder was actually really, really good against, was it cesium or cadmium? I can't remember, but then also mycotoxins, specific mycotoxins.
okay,
So,
well, before I start that, I'm going to run my labs again.
yeah,
So I'll show you.
run it and see. Hmm.
I had a lot of mercury in my body too before, and I got rid of all of my mercury fillings.
Hmm. I
Another
did that
thing,
about 15 years ago.
yeah, it's so important. But there's another thing that was causing my BPA numbers to go up, and it was I had BPA composite fillings that I had no idea that they took out my mercury for fillings that had BPA in them. So it's something that people need to ask their doctor.
Oh,
What
you're
is the
kidding.
composite fill? Yeah, it's crazy.
BPA composite fillings.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. You need to make
So what
sure
did
that
you
they're
replace?
ceramic. I replaced it with ceramic.
Mhm.
But if you scroll down, keep going, you can see the next category. Keep going.
Heavy metals.
Yeah, here are the heavy metals. Um, I'm
So it's
down
still
to
reasonable against
I'm
those
down
too.
to a lot less.
Lead. Your lead was up here.
My lead was a 5.
Yeah.
It was a 5.
I wonder where did that come from?
Lead is in a lot of things. It's in dishware. It's in a lot of supplements. It's in non-organic food. I've tested chicken. I've tested beef. They
Shilajit
all
has
had.
it.
Shilajit has lead. Yeah, there are a lot of things with lead in it. So it's exciting for me because I'm on a mission to
Mhm.
clear all of this.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
mission that I'm on. I'm on a mission to clear it all, and it's exciting it's just to me it's exciting that it's possible. It does take some hard
Um,
work, but it's
that
possible.
EDTA, once you get started on the EDTA and that protocol, it's going to pull this.
Yeah, that's great.
It's going to
Because
pull this one.
arsenic is
Pull
everywhere.
this one.
Arsenic
Hmm.
is in water. I've tested
Yep.
water and it had arsenic in it.
It'll pull tellurium, cadmium, arsenic, probably lead. There was a lot of things.
Yeah.
This is a good result for platinum because I see platinum in everything. I see thallium in everything and tellurium in everything.
So if you scroll down, look at the metals on this one. Go all the way down to the heavy metals. Yep, there you
Okay.
go. Look at how much more I had.
Look at your lead.
Look at this. I had so much more.
Arsenic.
Again, when you look at the previous results from September before I started the PC oils, it looked
Yeah.
like I had nothing. And then I did the PC oils and boom, look how many categories came out. And
So
now I only have 3 left.
0.39. So your cesium, this is not good.
Yeah, but now it's gone.
But
If
and
you
then you were able to draw it out, and then
Yes. And
cesium.
now
Oh no, did I close it? I closed it. But yeah, it was almost non-existent.
yeah, now it's gone. There were
Hmm.
only 3 major ones now, which was the
Yeah.
arsenic, the
Hmm.
lead,
Hmm.
and the what was the last one?
You have a
Aluminum,
little
I
bit of
think.
cadmium.
Yeah.
A little bit of
That,
cadmium.
but look
Yeah.
how many more. I mean, it was just if you
Look
put
where your
aside
10 went. Your 10 is gone. Look
I,
where it
I have
was.
no more tin. Yeah. That's it is gone.
The 10 was one of the main oh triggers for the white fibrous clots.
Yeah, it's no wonder they're putting it in the rainwater,
Yeah,
right?
so good that you got rid of that. Yeah.
So I think it'll be very fascinating. Again, if people are on a budget, I might say, okay, just do a bottle of PC oil and do a bottle of the brand new one that you have,
And Novolytic.
Novolytic. Do a
And you know
Novolytic,
what?
do a PC. Just if that's all you could afford, hey, start with
Just do
that.
that.
It's
Um,
better than doing nothing.
if you want to look younger and control your glucose, go after insulin.
Yes.
Um, I was going to tell you that I'm working with a group of practitioners out of Mexico. They're going to be doing a lot of different Novolytic tests. They have algorithms that they use. They can actually identify efficacy in different metabolic processes, and they will show efficacy from the liver, the stomach, the small intestine, and the colon.
Wow.
So they'll do all of these tests for us on Novolytic.
Wow.
So as soon as we have all of that, then I'll send all of
Yes,
that your
please.
way.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing more of these shows anyway. I think we said
Updates.
we're gonna have updates and we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about new information. Both of us to really share because you've got what
Yeah.
you're seeing, I've got what I'm seeing, and it's just fascinating to combine this information to really just help make this world a healthier place.
We do. And we see a lot of, we see red cell harvesting. I see, like I was telling you before, cannibalization of red blood cells in real time. We can go through that next time or the time after that, but this stuff is happening.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
quickly pull up for me that one video with the little spider looking thing that was attacking the cell?
Yeah.
That to me, I still can't get that one out of my head.
Let me see.
I mean, it's crazy. You could see it trying to attack the cells, right? So
So
the
see how
cells,
it actually looked a lot like a regular, like a ghost cell. Okay. And then I was watching it because I saw something very strange. All of a sudden, it wasn't a ghost cell anymore. It started to transform itself. Quit doing that.
but this just proves why you want your cell membrane to be so strong, right?
Mhm.
Because I on the videos that I have from 2023, I was seeing little creatures eating through my cells.
Here's another look. So it got rid of its cellular type components and it branched out so that the octopus was skinnier, right? And I call this a sentinel. This is what I call it.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's eating the other
so what I
cells.
do is, yeah, I'll look at something and say that looks like a sentinel. So this was from the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
It looks like a sentinel attacking biology. So these are machines attacking biology, which is exactly what the Matrix was showing. This is a sentinel. So then I went to synthetic biology and I looked up, is there such thing as a sentinel? Is a sentinel cell? What is this? And as it turns out, there are. Yeah,
That's crazy.
they exist. Yep, trying to attack. And you can see how the cell is lighting up. Like,
It's just
it's
mind-blowing.
reacting.
It's mind-blowing. And you know what? I might not believe this if I didn't see it with my own eyes on the videos that I sent you from my own blood
Yeah.
of these crazy little creatures. I mean, when I mean, my stomach had knots in it. I'm like, that is in my body.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
You
it's
know,
horrible.
it's crazy, you know, and yet doctors would tell you parasites are third world problems. They're not our
They're
problem.
third world problems.
I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so I
You don't
guess
even get me started about the
they
hybrids.
they don't have a passport, so they don't cross the border, right? You know, it's crazy.
It
You
is
know,
crazy. And you know what's a beautiful thing though, is people are waking up.
they're waking up. I'm so glad
Yeah.
they're waking up. I can't tell you when I first started this, just even a few years ago, and I would tell people that I'm doing a parasite cleanse, they'd look at me like I'm crazy. Only
Yeah.
in a short period of time, people are like, "Really? What are you doing? I want to do it too." You
hmm
know?
hmm It's true. You feel better. And people, you don't understand the cessation of pain, joint pain. I walked 9 miles yesterday.
Yeah.
I feel great. I'm 54 years old this year. I feel great.
Well, you look great.
I mean, my hair's white, but it's not going to get any whiter.
It still looks great. You know, that's the thing that people don't realize. Skin rashes, skin issues, arthritis, you
Yeah.
know, Hashimoto's, autoimmune, all of these things. What do you think? It just miraculously, like, oh, all of a sudden your body
I'm getting
started
older.
attacking itself?
Yeah.
No, it's attacking something.
Yeah.
And that something is probably parasites, asthma, all of these problems that people have. You don't need to have that, but you
I
do
say
need
to
to do something
people,
about it.
were, were you born with this?
Exactly.
Did you have this when you were little?
Yeah.
Did you have this as a teenager? Where are we going with this? I mean, let's
Exactly.
just, and you have to, unfortunately, after decades of abuse, you have to heal from the inside out.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like people want to make it a part of them. You know, no, I've had this since I was 5. Okay, well, something happened to you at 5 and nobody addressed it.
Are
So
you
it
willing to
stayed
claim
with
it?
you.
You're going to claim
Exactly.
it to the grave? I
Ex-
mean,
exactly. You're just going to live with it for the rest of your life?
for attention or for, I don't know. I don't
Exactly.
know. I don't get
Exactly.
it.
It's even with Lyme disease, right? So I
Yeah.
was diagnosed in 2020, but I was not going to be that person that was like, Lyme is my identity and I'm
Yep.
going to live with it forever. I was like, no, I'm going to squash this thing. I'm going to feel
Right.
better than I was before, and it's not going to be a part of me anymore.
Right. And you don't
You
have to
know?
accept the label. That's
You
the other thing
don't.
is you
You
do not have
don't.
to accept
It's
the
great
label.
to know when you run your labs what's going on so you can attack the problem and you can squash it. And I'll never ever forget, I was maybe 23 years old and I used to be an auditor and then I was in the tax department for big public accounting. And my manager was taking maybe 6 to 8 different pharmaceutical drugs. And I'm like, and I remember her hand used to shake like this. She was young. She maybe was 35. And I'm like,
Wow.
why are you taking all those medications? And she was like, oh, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease. I live in a woodsy area. And, they told me I need to be on these for the rest of my life. And
Oh
I
my
just
gosh.
remember thinking, oh my God, I would never take drugs for the rest of my life. There has to be a better solution. And I
Yeah.
asked her, is there a better solution? Have you looked into anything else? No, no, no.
Yeah.
This is what my doctor said. So when I was diagnosed in 2020, I was like, I am not, nope. I am not going the traditional route whatsoever. I am not going to be pumping antibiotics into my body whatsoever. I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah. Speaking of antibiotics, really quick, I don't want to take up too much time, but this is important. Dr. Group and I were talking, and he was telling me this story of this gentleman that he met 20, 30 years ago, however long, 20 years ago. And he watched this guy, and I might get the story wrong. So, but the premise is, we'll get it right. Anyway, the guy took his probiotics. So he took his probiotics just by powder, not in a capsule. And because there was such a unique relationship, and it's true, this relationship is true. And it's like so obvious and simple. Why are we continuing to do this the wrong way?
Yeah.
But he would open up the capsule and he would let the probiotic dissolve in his mouth,
Wow.
so that the saliva signal went, because you have a smart body, went
Wow.
directly to the small intestine. this is how, and you let it liquefy. This is how we're supposed to actually take our probiotics, because we don't, again, get these microbes anymore in our soil and our food. So I did it, and I opened up the, and he doesn't know this yet, but my husband and I, we opened up the Ultimate Probiotic from Global Healing and powdered it, just left it in our mouth. It tasted like a pork rind. It was fine. It's totally fine.
I haven't tried that. I need to try it.
Totally fine. Just let it liquefy. Yep.
Wow.
And then you swallow it, and you're actually getting everything. How do we know? Maybe it signals to the stomach acid, slow your roll.
Yeah.
We've got the important army coming through, and then you can go back to what you were doing.
What I love about his products is they're so clean, and he cares so much. Yeah. He tests and he tests and he tests, and I love that, because this is another thing I've seen. People come into our center like, muscular biohackers, and they're taking like 30 different products, and we run their numbers, and they're a mess, because they're taking stuff that hasn't been developed by a manufacturer who really cares about quality. Yeah. And so they're getting all those toxins to come into their body because they're not taking good stuff.
Yep, it's true. That, and nowadays, what I tell people is that you actually do need to do something to remediate for your body every day, at least something, because none of us can keep the nanoparticles out. Yeah. It's almost impossible. And then what they do is, once they're all together, then they build their structures, like I've shown you in the blood. Yeah. So it's important that you're taking products that, will bind and chelate, these inorganic contaminants. So that's really important. Yeah.
Well,
otherwise,
they just get mine, because I'm gonna be on it for sure.
I'm excited, and I'm excited for the test results too.
Yeah.
So
am I.
Over that, and then when the Mexico distribution facilities, whenever the university down there gets all of the biological testing done. Yeah. I mean, it's really cool what they're doing.
Well, let's keep doing updates. So if you just connect with Monica, and let's keep doing updates, so we can inform everybody what's going on. And I'm looking forward to you talking to our medical team on Thursday about your product and what it's going to do for people and so forth. So this is exciting.
The whole line. And then we'll do urine next time.
Yes. Let's do it next time. Amazing.
Okay.
Thank you, Maria, and thank you for joining the Leila Show. I appreciate all your incredible content, and I hope that our viewers are just as excited about learning about all this amazing stuff. Parasites, my husband is probably tired of me talking about parasites, but they are a part of our bodies, and we just need to know how to control them. So thank you for all your valuable knowledge, and really helping the world see that you don't need to be afraid. Mm-hmm. That's the key. You don't need to be afraid. We got this.
Yep.
That's right. We're smarter and stronger than these guys.
Well, that's why they're copying us.
Exactly.
So
exactly. So
we're still in the driver's seat.
Yes, we are. We are. So thank you. I appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thanks.
I got you.